Hi everyone, Rob from Kickstarter Games here. I was on the forum the other day and I saw a question where someone asked, what is the best way to ship a board game? And so I wanted to do a video to kind of talk about that because I've shipped over 500 games last year, and so I've got a lot of experience about that. So I would like to share what I know. We're going to talk about USPS, and we're also going to talk about UPS. We're going to talk about what kind of boxes you should be using, where to get boxes, how to find packing material, what packing material to use, what to do, what not to do. So we're going to cover it from top to bottom, and so really excited to share with you about this today. So I'm going to go ahead and start with boxes. So one thing that you may or may not know is that UPS, or the USPS, United States Postal Service, actually, if you use their priority mail service, they provide free boxes included in the price of the shipping. So if you use priority mail service, you can go to the post office and you can pick up a box and a variety of sizes. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually go on USPS.com, the website, and you can create an account and you can order free shipping supplies directly to your house. You can order these boxes, and it also gives you some access to some different sized boxes. And so that's one thing that's really cool about USPS Priority Mail, and the fact that you can get free boxes from USPS, is that they have some different sizes on the website, and you can go and click. And one of the ones that I love is the Regional Rate Box A. So this is a Regional Rate Box A. I'm going to build one up here. One of the things that you need to have for shipping is tape. So I recommend just any sort of heavy-duty tape you can get from Staples. Now, we had an eBay store for the last 20 years, and so as part of our eBay site or whatever, we got some free shipping supplies or some discounted shipping supplies with the eBay logo there. But I also picked these up real cheap at a yard sale one time. So you can source a variety of different sources, but the main thing is you just want some secure tape. And I also have this tape gun. I found it at an estate sale for $2, I believe. So if you keep an eye out, you can find good deals on things that can help make your life easier when it comes time to ship board games. So a lot of people have games that they don't necessarily like, and they'd like to get rid of them, but they don't necessarily know how. And so that's one cool thing about my site, Kickstarter Games, is it's a marketplace for people to sell games. And so that's why it's important that everyone knows how to package correctly, so that when you're sending these games back and forth to one another, they all get there safely. So we mostly have new games right now, sealed games, but I do want to mention that if you're shipping a used game that has been opened, you want to make sure to also pack the inside the box correctly. So that is, if you have components like miniatures, things like that, those need to be wrapped separately, and you should use like tissue paper or something like that. Tissue paper, or maybe a light bubble wrap like I have here. So I keep a variety of stuff on hand in our shipping station here, but this is just regular small bubble wrap. But if I had miniatures, say from like a copy of Dark Souls, and they were out separately, I might individually wrap those before I send them out. But the key thing is inside the board game box, make sure that you've got a little bit of packing material or something in there to keep the components from slamming into one another as they make it away across the country in a truck. So one of the other keys to packing board games or shipping board games is selecting the right size box. That's really going to impact a few things. It's going to tell you whether or not your game is going to be packed securely. If it's too big of a box and you don't have enough shipping packing material, then the game might slide around and could get damaged. If you pick too small of a box, the game could actually have tension on it, and when it goes through shipping, it could hit it and you could possibly damage the box. the game box, and so you don't want to do that either. So a good rule of thumb is to try to keep, you know, about 1 inch or to 2 inches around the game. For example, this one, if we were taking this copy of Exodus Paris Nouveau, and we put it in here, okay? So you see it right there. We've got a regional rate box. It's in here. Now, I've got a little bit of space. There's still a little bit more space here. And so this is where you need to bring in some other type of packing material. Now, that could be paper, or it could be these. Now, I've collected these. I don't actually purchase these. I just, you know, buying and selling board games, we get enough of these that we don't actually have to purchase this particular airbags. But these come in like Amazon shipments and various shipments. So just when you get those, just stick them in a box somewhere. And, you know, if it comes time to ship a board game, there you go. So now you see I've got it in there. And when I shake it around, it's not sliding around and hitting anything. You can tell it's all the way to the top there. And so that's the key. So you want to fill it up completely. You don't want to have a bunch of extra space, because if you had it just like that, let's hear the difference. You don't want that, okay? If it's going through the mail and it gets, that's how things get messed up. But thankfully, this is a pretty sturdy one. All right, so that's regional rate box. Now, the other thing about that is that's flat rate. So that's part of the flat rate. That's what's great about USPS Priority, is they have these flat rate shipments. So it makes it excellent for board games. So in terms of board games are typically fairly heavy. For example, this Dark Souls here is like 11-pound game. I mean, it is just absolutely a monster. And so because of that, you've got to make sure to package it extra well, which we always do whenever we ship out our games. But a game like this, you know, I would try to support it. I would try to do some extra things. I might use something like, these are a little bit big, but I might use something like this to try to brace the sides, or even if I had some extra cardboard, I might just do it like that, right? Put it in there before I ever put it inside the box, okay? But then once it's in there, I'm going to pack it completely around so it can't move. So it's covered within 1 to 2 inches of that bubble wrap or packing material around all edges of the game. That way, as it goes through transit and it slides around, it doesn't hit the edge of the box. There's no corners that are going to penetrate the box that might damage the corners of your game. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. So unfortunately, I don't think, none of these are big enough to support this game. So we have to use UPS for that one. But the Priority Mail flat rate is actually a pretty great deal. So how it works is basically you're paying one flat rate, and it includes the box, and it's whatever you can fit in it. So this is really good for things that are over 2.5 to 3 pounds. Okay, so any kind of board game, it's going to go pretty good. And oftentimes you'll find them ship in this one. Okay, this is the medium flat rate box. This is perfect for one board game. So if you're familiar with this one's going to cost you about $12. Okay, now see, this is good. No tape required on this one, although I highly recommend sealing with tape, but you know, you really do not have to, as long as you trust that seal there. But check it out. So we got the medium flat rate box. This one's $12.80 with whatever discount I get through PayPal or whatnot. So it's about $13. It may be about $14 or $15 if you buy it at the retail counter. I think they charge a little bit higher prices, but you can get it online, $12, $13 for a medium flat rate box. Okay. Now this is important though, because this same box is a medium flat rate box. Looks just the same. Looks just the same. What's the difference? This is a priority mailing box. This one's actually going to go by weight, okay? So this is a little bit different. This is up to any, any weight subject to, I don't know, 20 pounds, or domestic 70 pounds. So if you can fit 70 pounds worth of games up in here, you could do it. But this one, if you put 70 pounds in here, they're going to charge you 70 pounds times whatever the per pound rate is. Okay, so that's the mailing box. But you might want to use one of these if your game is not all that heavy. So if you've got a 6 or 8 pound game, this is going to be perfect, medium flat rate box. But if you've got, say, a 2 pound game or a 1.5 pound game, you don't really want to pay $12 because you could actually pay about $8 with this one, depending on the weight. The cheapest for priority is going to be about $7.80, $7 or $8 for a single game shipped like this. Now, if you're going to ship in a box like this, I use packing peanuts. So you'll definitely either want to cover it with, if you're shipping a game like this, for example, we'll take Leader Games Root. You definitely want to cover it up and, put it in your box, right? This actually is not a great size for this one. But what I would do on something like this is I come back in here with packing peanuts. So these are packing material. You can buy these in smaller quantities. You can buy them and have them shipped to your house. But yeah, these are made out of rice, so they're organic. They're not styrofoam. But anyway, put those in there and you make sure that it's completely sealed here. Make sure that the packing peanuts go on both sides, and then you seal it up from there. And then see how it's secure? It's not sliding around in there. So that game's going to get there and it's going to be relatively intact. So another thing about this is priority mail already comes with $50 of insurance included in it. So if you order something and it's priority mail, I've sent this here for 12 bucks. Root's about a $50, $60 game, and so it's all gravy. If this thing gets damaged in transit, it's disappointing, but of course our policy is we'll certainly take care of it and get it replaced, and and then we just go back and tell USPS, hey, you messed up our game. So so that's good to know there. So that's the difference between the priority mailing box and the flat rate box. And so yeah, let's talk about a couple of other types of boxes. Let's talk about what I call the dreaded board game box. All right, this thing is worthless, all right? Board game box, garbage. It really is. I mean, I don't know what in the world you ship in this thing. I've used it a time or two. It's super expensive. First of all, it's a flat rate box. It's a large flat rate box. And it's like 20 bucks to ship this dang thing, all right? So, I suppose, you might be able to fit a couple of games, maybe 2 games in here, depending on the size. Let's see, could you fit 2 dunes stacked up? But see, I just don't love, it doesn't give me the greatest protection there. Let's see if you could do a Dune and a Terraforming Mars. Yeah, so you could get a Dune and a Terraforming Mars in there. But see, this is a risky one. I wouldn't love this one. I really wouldn't do this. But you could potentially risk this one, I guess, if you want. If you thought that it would be okay. But look, you don't have a lot of room around here. Remember I was talking about 1 inch to 2 inches of packing material? You really don't have any packing material there. You might be able to put like a few millimeters. You might be able to put like 1/4 of an inch around in packing material. But yeah, so anyway, I don't particularly love this large flat rate. It's kind of pricey. I think they had good intentions when they designed it, but anyway, for board game shippers, I don't know if it's all that great. $18 for that, I don't know. Not my biggest fan. I probably use this in the hundreds of games that I ship every year. I probably use this box, gosh, twice in my entire life. So, not a big fan of that one, USPS. All right, here's these little ones. Let's talk about some of these others. These are flat rate envelope. I wouldn't use these. I wouldn't put this in a game. I wouldn't put a game in here. It's going to get banged up. I wouldn't put, you know, like a Stranger Things deal here. Like, I wouldn't put that in there. It's going to get bent. So we don't really use these. If I did something like that, I would wrap it completely in bubble wrap. You know, and I certainly wouldn't put something that's bendable. You know, something hard, maybe like this Exodus game. You know, maybe you could do it like that. Do it hard, wrap it up real tight, and then see if you could fit it in there. But I don't know. I don't know if that would be, you know, you could potentially do something like that, but may not be the best choice. Let's see. What else we got on the priority side? Mailing envelope, same thing with that one. Another product that they offer. Let's see. All right. This is the shoebox. This is another one of those interesting sized ones that you can do. So this one's a good one. I've shipped a few board games with this one. One to keep in mind. Whoops. It's stuck to me. The one that comes to mind for this is we got the Win Gambit here. Looks like a perfect priority mail size for that, see? You can do that one of two ways. You know, I do something like this, or I take a little bit of... And I know you're like, Rob, I'm not somebody who has all this stuff in their shipping station. You know, I'm just a collector. And I get that. So something like that. So we got that in there. I might take two of these puff balls here and fit it here on the side. And seriously, I got these for my Amazon shipments that just, you know, like household stuff that just came in. All right, and so now we got Skype Win Gambit, and it's here, and it's not, you know, it's not in any danger. It's packed and covered on both sides. So again, that's just an idea about how to properly pack using USPS. So again, some of the things, $50 of insurance on these, 2 to 3 day delivery. So this is pretty fast. You know, if you're on the East Coast going to the West Coast, it's going to cost you roughly $20 for a heavy game. For a big game like Gloomhaven, it's going to be more like 30, 35 or something like that. Although I was shipping it directly, case and all, for 20, 22 last year for Gloomhaven. But that game's 22 pounds. This, or priority mail, is for the smaller stuff. Where you want it to go fast, especially if you can use the flat rate boxes. That's definitely where USPS is the best. And there's one game box I don't have here, or one shipping box, and it's actually called the Regional Rate Box A. Now I've got Regional Rate Box B. This is another flat rate box. And it, another flat rate box. And this is great for board games, this one. But you can't find this in the post office. You got to order this one online. You got to say, hey, I want Regional Rate Box B with the size, and it has like a certain size. It'll give you the dimensions. 14 by 3 by 16 and a quarter. So that's what this one is. This is really good for board games. If you got a really big old honking board game box, wide, this one's good, and it's going to leave a couple of inches on each side for packing material. So highly recommend this one because it's actually pretty cheap. It ships for like $11. If it's like the state, you know, if you're doing a game swap or sell and it's within, you know, 4 or 5 states around you, you know, your game's going to ship for like 10, $11. And that's super cheap. And that makes the difference between a fun game trade and a bad game trade, or saying yes and saying no, you know, or trading 3 games for 1 game or whatever. You know, it helps you from getting killed on the shipping by knowing some of these tips and tricks, okay? So same thing for that. So that's Regional Rate Box B, this size, roughly $10, $11 to ship. And then here we go, Regional Rate Box B, we've got it again in a different form. Same shipping cost. Same shipping cost. Just in a little bit different configuration. All right, see that? Same thing. Both of them about $11. And these are great. This is perfect for a lot of games. Like this one probably goes in here. See, this is what I was talking about snugness. See, I really wouldn't do this. When I was shipping, I'd ship this one in a little bit bigger box. But see how the edge is right there? Now, I'm not going to say that it's not going to get there okay. It probably will. 9 out of 10 times it's going to get there okay. So if you're just trading among, friends and it's not super serious, you could probably get away with this. No problem. Honestly, you could. Now, if you're selling a game to somebody and it's through PayPal and you don't want them to, say, hey, I want my money back, or if you're selling it through our site, we really ask that you do put 2 inches on each side. And so we do that, or 1 inch, some type of material around the outside as well. That way it's not got that pressure pushing in on the sides as it goes through. All right, but anyway, so Priority Memorial rate box B, $10, $11, excellent value because this is flat rate. So it don't matter if it's 12-pound game or whatever, as long as it fits in this box or this box, it's going to be like 12 bucks. So that is good. All right, so we talked about Priority, and then now we'll talk about Brown. So for Brown, I use my own boxes, and we use Uline boxes, which are great boxes, and you can order them from uline.com. They'll sell to just about anybody. But you can also get boxes from UPS themselves. Now, I don't get boxes from UPS directly, just out of convenience or for whatever reason. I don't need to. We have our own thing going. So let's talk a little bit about that. So one thing for UPS is, generally you're going to provide your own boxes. In my case, a great board game box for a single game is a 14 by 12 by 4. Really like this size box. It gives room for packing material, but it's also not very big, so it's somewhat affordable. When you go to ship it, doesn't break the bank. All right, 14 by 12 by 4. All right, so you take a game like Dune or something, it fits excellent in there. Look, you got about 1 inch on each side, and we can put it, the packing material, do that. Honestly, with this one, I'd probably just use something a bit bigger. Maybe like this. Like that. And again, you see I've got it filled here. And you hear it, it's not moving. Anything that's moving is just inside the interior box. It's not moving around. It's not banging from side to side. That's what you want. The key is to not have it be moving, and then anything that's in there together, you don't want them to be able to damage one another. So you maybe put a light layer of bubble wrap, or even a piece of maybe some leftover packing paper or something like that. You can use this sort of stuff. Your choices are endless in that sort of thing. Okay, so these are boxes I purchased. So you can purchase boxes. Now another thing to keep in mind is boxes that come, from stores, like Amazon.com or whatnot. Let's see. I've got another one here I'm going to show you. This one actually is kind of a cool box. Got sent to me. You'll need a knife for this operation. This is this next thing that I want to teach you guys is about how to cut down boxes. Okay. So how to cut down boxes is important because this one actually is pre-done. It's actually got some places that are pre-marked so that you can fold it down in this manner. But you can do this really with any box. And so this is a key skill to learn if you're going to be trading in board games. So if you're going to be buying and selling, trading and swapping, Kickstarter games like us, you need to know this skill. And so that is how to cut down a box. So you've got this box right here, and I'm going to show you guys how to cut it down. So let's say we had this box and we're going to fill it with some games. Let's fill it with this game, for example. We'll put this one. We'll put this one. We'll put Dreams of Tomorrow. We got Terraforming Mars Colonies expansion. I mean, I'm packing this thing. This order right here definitely got free shipping. They placed it over $100 and they got their free shipping. That's for sure. We know that much. All right. So let's say, and then we'll throw in the expansion here. Okay. Boom. All right, so we got them in here, and we know this thing, if you can see right here, is nowhere near full. Nowhere near full. You see it? All right, check it out. So what we're going to do in this situation is we're going to cut the box down. We're going to still fill it with packing material just like we would do. We're going to fill it in here on the sides. We're going to make sure that it's secure and can't go anywhere and not going to get damaged. These are collectibles, guys. I mean, I know they're games and they're fun to play with, but like if you've got a first edition Kickstarter, like you paid $500 for that thing and there were only a certain number of them printed. Like, don't think that they're not going up in value, because they are. They're getting harder and harder to find. And so you want to protect these as though they were as valuable as a comic book or something that you'd want to keep for a long time. Okay, all right, so I've got this one in here, and I know I don't want to fill this with packing material. If you filled this completely with packing material, you're going to add like an extra 2 pounds of packing material. Not to mention, if you don't get it free, you're going to pay like $10 in packing material. So you can't do that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So the thing with shipping is always trying to maximize good protection without, just shipping empty weight. You don't want to necessarily ship empty packing material just for the fun of it. No reason to really do that. So I'll show you what to do. So in this case, it's pre-marked, pre-serrated, but what I'll do is I'll typically put all our material there, and then I'll open up my knife here, and then I'll go and I'll make a little cut from the side all the way up. Okay, and then I go over here, do the same thing on this side. Now, please be careful, guys. This is, I'm using a real knife. Use this at your own leisure. Now, if I didn't have this pre-perforated thing, what I would typically do is I would just take my knife and I would run it from one side to the other. Just kind of lightly. You just want to score it lightly. And then, look, see how that just came right there? See how that one just came right down? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I go over here. See that? So I go over here. All right. Fold it right over there. Look at that. Boom. Same thing. Coming over here. And if I didn't have that pre-slit, I'd use the slope of this thing because it's already straight. Just help me drag it a little bit so it folds over. And boom. There we go. And so now we've taken it, we don't have all this extra material that we used to have. It's very secure in here now. It's not going to slide around. You got 7 or 8 games that aren't sliding around, and it's good. So in this case, we've got we've got probably $150 worth of games right here. So we'd send this US or UPS, and UPS is automatically going to come with $100 in insurance. So if you needed more, if you say this was a $500 game, you just tell them, hey, I need to purchase a little bit of extra insurance for this, and tell them the amount of your purchase and insure it. But yeah, so this one would be going UPS, and we do it just like that. We take the tape, and then from there, we'd put it down completely. One thing that we didn't talk about yet is where to purchase this shipping. So today we've got state-of-the-art, computer print at home shipping, which is something that we didn't have in the past, years. So it's super easier now than ever to buy and sell games and ship them through the internet. And so, yeah, so basically you can get a label printer, if it's something that you're going to be doing a lot, you know, or if you have an eBay business or anything like that, or you have a reason for a label printer, you know, you can get those for around $150 to $200, maybe even a little less, depending on if you get a deal. But they use thermal rolls of labels, and you can print your postage right there, and it comes directly out of your PayPal account or your credit card. You can do that through PayPal. Is one way that you can do it. I think is really convenient for most board game folks. You can also go to UPS.com and you can purchase postage directly from UPS.com. There's also a website called Pirate Ship. I use that sometimes for reduced priority mail postage. You can use Stamps.com. That's another one that's kind of a third-party reseller of priority mail postage. But yeah, so there's a variety of sources where you can print out postage, and if you don't have a label printer, you can just print it on a regular old sheet of paper and then just use your packing tape to affix the label on there. So I think that is pretty much shipping in a nutshell. How do you ship board games? I hope that this you know, really cleared it up for folks. We at KickstarterGames.com want to be the place to buy and sell Kickstarter games. And so we want to be the marketplace where folks are shipping their collectible Kickstarter games or their used Kickstarter game that they no longer playing and they want to try something else. You know, we want our site to be a place where people can post their games for sale and do that sort of thing. So we're really excited to be here, and we hope that you'll check us out at KickstarterGames.com. We've got awesome Kickstarter releases. We've got lots of stuff in stock right now. COVID-19 not stopping us. We are shipping games and have been, and are just really glad to still be able to serve everybody. So, all right, I think that'll do it for this one.